kind, right? And the nth order it is, right? So for n is even, we can write Jn of beta is equal to J minus n of beta. I hope all should note down these properties. Only three properties are there. Okay. The first one is what? For n is equal to even, what we can say? Jn of beta is equal to J minus n of beta. And for odd, means for when n is odd, we can say Jn of beta is equal to minus J minus n of beta. So in what way it is different? Is it possible to say when n is even, I said Jn of beta is equal to J minus n of beta. Okay, when n is odd, we say Jn of beta is equal to what? Minus J minus n of beta. Are you able to find the difference? Yes, able to find the difference when n is even what, when n is odd is what? Right, when n is odd, we say it is out of phase, right? Because minus J minus n of beta it is. Okay, so in general, means for all values of n, including odd and even, we can express Jn of beta is equal to minus 1 to the power of n into J minus n of beta. Okay. Yes, is this fine? Yes, I'm asking, is this fine? Please have a note of this. And the second one is, for small values of the modulation index beta, we can approximate J naught of beta, okay, is approximately equal to 1. This is also very, very important. Okay. So when the value of modulation index is much less than 1, we can approximate J naught of beta is approximately equal to what? 1. And then J1 of beta, its value will be approximated to beta by 2. Okay. And Jn of beta will be approximated to 0 when the value of n is greater than 2. Yes, this is the second thing. Okay. The third one is, we can write summation n equal to minus into infinity j square n of beta is equal to 1. So these three equations are very important, which we use in our analysis of wideband effect. I hope you noted these three things. Summation n equal to minus into infinity j square n of beta is equal to what? 1 we can write. Anybody can guess how the Bessel functions looks like if we draw a graph or plot of Jn of beta versus beta? Have you seen so far? No, no? Yes, let me go to the next slide. Yes, let me go to the next slide. Have you noted this thing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hope we will be able to see now. This is the plot of Bessel functions of the first kind. So Jn of beta versus beta it is drawn. Okay. So what we need to understand from this plot is, okay, see this is the value of J naught of beta. Wherever I'm moving the cursor, no, you just follow the cursor. Okay. So what is the value of this one? Beta approximately, what you can expect here? The value of beta. Yes,
Two,
anyone
sir.
can,
Yes, two.
2 point something, right? So you can note down that 2.44 we can say. 2.44. Okay. Then, so like this only I will move. So just follow my cursor. Okay. Then what is this value? Anyone can say the cursor point.
Around
Yeah.
5.8.
Right. So you can note
Around.
it is 5.552. It is 5.552. Right. Then again I move. Just follow my cursor. Yeah. What will be this value? Approximately this point. It is 8.65. You can say
8.8.
8.65. Okay. 8.65. Then see here, next point it is. It will be near 12, right? So we can take that as 11.2. Okay, 11.2. So like that it keeps going, right, etc. So why I said these values, I hope you all noted these values for J naught of beta. First value is what?
Can you repeat? Yeah.
Yeah, first one is beta is equal to 2.44. Okay, the second value is what? 5.552. Okay, and the third value is 8.65. Okay, then the next value is 11.2 is like that. You can write for other values also. Next is at around 14 point something, you can leave. Okay, just these values are important. So what I wanted to say is here you are able to see the plot of Jn of beta versus beta. Okay, so for different values of n, see this is J naught of beta, the curve will be like this, right? Then this is the curve of J1 of beta. This is the curve of J1 of beta. Similarly, next is J2 of beta. Then this one is J3 of beta. Then this one is J4 of beta. Okay. Fine. Just I think you people can have a note of this. What I said, the properties, right? When n is even, what happens? When n is odd, what happens? I hope everybody has remembered that, right? So for odd value of n, what I said, j minus n of beta is equal to minus jn of beta, right? So odd numbered lower side bands is reversed in phase, what we can say. Okay. So why I dictated the value of beta? Anybody can guess for j naught of beta? Okay, so I will come to that. Okay, so in FM, what we say is the total power. Okay, total power of the frequency modulated signal will be equal to a square c by 2. Means it is same as the carrier power only. Okay, because the envelope of the modulated signal is constant, isn't it? That is why we say the power of the modulated signal will be what? A square c by 2. Okay, so just have a note of this. The power carried by the carrier, the power carried by the carrier depends on the value of j naught of beta, and the power carried by the side bands depends on the value of Jn of beta. Okay. Is that clear? So why I dictated the value of beta as 2.44, 5.55, 8.65, and 11.2, right? For J naught of beta is, means if you adjust the value of beta such that these are the values of this one. Okay, for J naught of beta, that is when beta is 2.44, it becomes 0, right? This value of J naught of beta becomes 0, right? Means at these values, at 2.44, at 5.55, then at 8.65, and as well as 11.2, right? The value of J naught of beta will be 0. I hope you could understand that.
Sir, can you repeat the
Sir, it's
values
not zero,
again,
no,
sir?
sir.
See, this is the plot of Jn of beta for different values of beta, right? In that, I am considering the first one, that is J naught of beta, right? I started moving cursor, no? So it is at what point? This is what we say, beta is 2.44. The first value of beta is 2.44. At that point, the value of J naught of beta is equal to 0. Yes or no? This point, it is 2. When beta is 2.44, we say J naught of beta is equal to 0. Okay, similarly, then when beta is 5.552, also its value is 0, right? And then next is what? 8.65. Next one is what? 11.2, and so on. Okay. I will come to the expression of the carrier power, how it is related to Jn of beta. Then we will be able to appreciate how it is helping the Bessel function here. Okay. Yeah. So these are the some points which we need to understand from the equation of wideband FM. What is that? Still, I have not means I have taken the spectrum, that is Fourier transform of the equation, right? For wideband FM. You people have not drawn the spectrum, right? Is it possible to draw spectrum? Then we will be able to understand this sentence. If you are able to draw the spectrum, at least for one or two values of n. Shall we do that first and then we'll come back to this? Okay. Then I will discuss these points. Yeah, this is the expression for wideband FM in frequency domain, right? Yes or no? So now let us try
Sir,
to.
can't see, sir.
Sir, you weren't presenting, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is what the expression for wideband FM in frequency domain, right? So we have taken the Fourier transform of the previous equation, right? So can we draw the spectrum of this? Okay, so this x-axis is f. S of f, okay? That is for paragraph, right? So let us just mark the FC, right? And this side is minus FC, okay? So looking at this one, okay, del of what? F minus FC, right? Minus NFM. Then another one is what? Del of F plus FC plus NFM. So if N is 1, so what do you get? It's just you can write this side. When N is 1, it will be what? Del of F minus FC minus FM, right? Another one is del of F plus FC plus FM. Yes or no? Along with the magnitude of this AC by 2 into the value of Jn of beta. Yes or no? Yes, people should say when N is equal to 1. Yes, students, just is an impulse function, no? How do you represent this on the graph? Frequency domain. Substitute just N equal to plus or minus 1, N equal to plus or minus 2. Only for 2 values we'll write. Yeah. Yes, quickly, anyone can say? Yes, you can't say what is the del of F minus FC minus FM and del of F plus FC, right? When N is 1, then FM, you can't represent.
Both the sides you will get impulse functions.
Yeah, you'll get impulse. The one impulse at the carrier, okay? This is the carrier one. I can say AC by 2, okay? And I can say J naught of beta it is. Okay. You can mark, see n number of sidebands I said, no? The value of n varies. First one will be what? FC plus FM, right? Yes or no? When n is 1. Then when n is 2, similarly it will be this side is what? FC minus FM, right? Then when n is 2, you will be getting FC plus 2 FM. Similarly this side also. FC plus 2 FM and so on, right? Similarly this side also you can represent.
So,
Yeah.
here it should be FC minus 2FM, no, after 0.
Where, man?
The
This
FC
one, no?
yeah, it should be minus now.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be what? FC minus 2FM. Okay. So roughly I'm drawing its magnitude. Okay. Let us see what should be the value of its magnitude. Let us assume that this is one sideband, right? Side frequency. Maybe the next one is another side frequency. That is at FC plus 2FM. Okay. So anyway, as the value of n increases, the magnitude of the sideband also decreases. In the same way, you can write for the negative frequencies also. Okay, you write these frequencies. What is frequency? Minus FC plus FM This one is minus FC plus 2FM. Right, similarly this side minus FC minus FM, and this point is minus FC minus 2FM. Okay, so we will write this amplitude is also same, that is AC by 2 J naught of beta.
So J naught of beta is 1, right?
Yeah, 1, just I'm writing its value.
So you're not given J2 of beta, so like we can't draw minus FC minus 2FM, right? We don't know the amplitude.
Yeah, that is why you don't have to mention. Okay, just write an impulse function. At least that much you will be able to write the impulse function. Right? You can show the impulse function. You don't have to worry now about the magnitude, how much it is. So this is for what? This is the spectrum for single tone modulating signal only, right? But in the earlier case, either in narrowband FM or in the standard AM, what we found only one pair of sidebands, right? FC as a center frequency. Okay, along with that, we had only FC plus FM and another one is FC minus FM. But in case of wideband FM, for single tone modulating signal only, we are able to find out, means we are finding the n number of side frequencies, right? Which are equally spaced from FC as what? FM, 2FM, 3FM, and so on up to NFM. I hope you got my point.
So there are only 2, right? 2.
Where? No, not 2. Just here I've written for only 2 values, man. See, this is the spectrum what I've written for wideband FM, right? It is a wideband FM, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
A wideband FM, just I've written only for 2 values. When n is 1 is what? When n is 2 what? See, we can extend that up to infinity now.
Sir,
This is
but
for
n is greater than 2.
So it will
be
continue, man.
zero.
I should put this dot line. Then we will be.
Sir, you give approximation, no? So Jn of beta.
Approximation.
So it will be 0 only.
Pardon?
So the value will be 0, sir, for n greater than.
You said a j n of beta will be 0 when n is greater than 2.
Yeah, so only these 2 will be there.
Approximation, right?
Yeah.
I will come to that approximation. Okay. That is j n of beta. Okay. But here the value of n, that is the number of side band frequencies increases, no? This NFM, right? So this will have some amount of magnitude. Okay, that is approximated to 0, but it will have very less amplitude when compared to the carrier amplitude. Okay, I will come to that approximation. We'll have still discussion is there. Okay, so theoretically we say it has infinite number of side frequencies. Okay, so that is the difference when compared to narrowband FM or standard AM. For single tone modulating signal only, in case of wideband FM, I have n number of side frequencies. Okay, from the carrier frequency. That is FC plus FM, FC plus 2FM, FC plus 3FM, and so on up to FC plus NFM. But only for single tone modulating signal only. But in case of either narrowband FM or standard AM, I had only one pair of sideband. Right, either FC plus M, that is FC plus FM, and as well as FC minus FM. Okay. Yes, I hope this point is understood. For single tone modulating frequency, in case of wideband FM, I have n number of side frequencies from the carrier frequency. But in case of narrowband FM or standard AM, I had only 2 side frequencies. That is, one is FC plus FM, another one is FC minus FM. Okay, so now I will come to your approximation. So just have a note of this. I think I can show with the PPT also. It is written there. I will switch over to PPT. Okay. I hope you noted this spectrum. This is required for understanding further statements. Okay, I will switch over to PPT. There I have content. Yeah, visible, no? Yes, is my slide is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is the first point is written? See, the spectrum of the FM signal contains the carrier component, right, and an infinite set of side frequencies, and they are located symmetrically on either side of the carrier at frequency separations of what? FM, 2FM, 3FM, and so on. Right? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we say in what way this wideband FM is different from the standard AM or the narrowband FM. So what we said is for single tone modulating signal, standard AM or narrowband FM only one pair of side frequencies it has, right? But this wideband FM has n number of sideband frequencies. Okay. The second point is means for the special case of beta, that is when beta is very small compared to unity, right? So only the Bessel function, that is J naught of beta and J1 of beta will have the significant values. That is we approximated J naught of beta as 1 and J1 of beta as beta by 2, right? So the FM signal is effectively composed of carrier and a single pair of side frequencies, that is at FC plus or minus FM for that case. That is for the narrowband FM case, or when we say the modulation index is much less than 1. Yes, is this point is clear? The second point, when beta, I said that there is a modulation index, right, is much less than 1, the value of the Bessel coefficient, that is J naught of beta and J1 of beta, will have only the significant values compared to any other values of Jn of beta, right? So with that, we will be able to have only one pair of side frequencies, that is at what? FC plus or minus FM. So just now I discussed that. Okay. Next, the amplitude of the carrier component, okay, varies with the value of beta, okay, according to J naught of beta. Yes or no? Because I said I shown that curve J naught of beta, how it varies, right? So in case of frequency modulated signal, right? See, amplitude of the carrier is kept constant, right? Yes or no? In case of frequency modulation, the envelope or the amplitude of the carrier is kept constant. Only the frequency of the signal is varied. Okay, the frequency of the carrier varies according to the instantaneous value of the message signal. Are you with me for that or not? See, frequency deviation delta F is equal to what we say KF into AM, right? Yes or no? That frequency deviation is what? The change in the frequency of the carrier signal, right? From its unmodulated value, you said, right? So that depends on what? The amplitude of the message signal or modulating signal, we say. Okay. So since here amplitude of the modulated signal is constant, and we can say the average power of such a modulated signal can be written as A square C by 2. So this is same as the power of the carrier signal. Okay, the power of the frequency modulated signal is the same as the power of the unmodulated carrier signal, we say. Okay, and here, see, it is expressed in terms of Bessel function. What is that? See, FM signal, right? For FM signal, we say 1 by 2 a square c summation n equal to minus into infinity j square n of beta. And we have approximated, right? This summation n equal to minus into infinity j square n of beta is equal to 1, right? With that, we say the power of the frequency modulated signal is the same as that of the unmodulated carrier signal. Yes, I hope this point is clear. How do we say the power of the frequency modulated signal is the same as that of the power of the unmodulated carrier signal? Because the amplitude of the carrier is kept constant here. Only the frequency of the carrier is varied. Okay. Yes, I'm not getting any response. Is this clear? The power of
Yes,
the
sir.
carrier signal and the power of the frequency modulated signal is same. So not getting. Yes, you should say no, whether you are able to understand or not what I am saying here. Are you aware the frequency and that is amplitude of the carrier in case of frequency modulation is constant?
Yes, sir.
Then with respect to that, you cannot visualize the frequency modulated signal. How does it looks like? You have drawn no, in the previous classes. Frequency means the amplitude of the frequency modulated signal is constant, right? Means it is same as that of the unmodulated carrier signal only. But the frequency of the carrier signal varies, right? How does it varies? It depends on the amplitude of the modulating signal. That is why we say the frequency deviation, that is delta f, is proportional to Km. The proportionality factor is replaced by a constant, we say that is Kf. Right? Yes or no? Yes, you are not able to visualize that diagram of frequency modulated signal. Hello. So I will not be able to go back again to show that waveform. Frequency modulated signal. Yes, no response means no understanding. Okay. So what to do? Yes. Let me not proceed further. There is no point in going further now. Even after saying so many times, the frequency of the carrier varies according to the amplitude of the message signal. Okay. The amplitude of the carrier is kept constant. In what way I can say? Okay, I think I will come back to write up only. I think if I say this, will not be. No response means not understanding. Very clear. Right?
So can you repeat the question?
Okay, no need to repeat. Means you have not understood my question only so far. What I was telling, in case of frequency modulation, right, the frequency of the carrier is varied, right, in accordance with what? The amplitude of the modulating signal or message signal, isn't it? And the amplitude of the carrier is kept constant. Yes or no? That is why the envelope of the modulated signal is constant. Means it is same as that of the unmodulated carrier signal. Yes, understood my point?
Yes, sir.
In that way, I was telling about the carrier power and as well as the power of the frequency modulated signal. Right? Since the amplitude of the carrier is kept constant, so in the previous cases we have discussed what is the expression for carrier power. It is a square c by 2, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when the carrier power is a square c by 2, in case of frequency modulation, the amplitude of the carrier is kept constant, and we can write the expression for the power of the frequency modulated signal is also as what? A square c by 2. Yes, is this point is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So with respect to that, what we can say is, in case of frequency modulation, okay, in case of frequency modulation, the efficiency will be how much? How much we can say efficiency? Yes, when total transmitted power is the carrier power, right? What is efficiency?
100%.
100% it is, right? So, in case of wideband FM, what I said, it has n number of sidebands, right? With respect to that, okay, with respect to that, let us try to understand what is the bandwidth requirement for transmitting wideband FM practically. Okay, theoretically it is infinite. Okay, but it is not so practically. Okay, I think I need not again go back for writing the expression for power of the frequency modulated signal. I hope you all will be able to say it is a square c by 2 into summation of what? N equal to minus infinity to infinity j square n of beta. And as I said in the properties of Bessel function, summation n equal to minus into infinity j square n of beta will be equal to what? 1. So with that we say the expression for power of the frequency modulated signal is a square c by 2. Okay? Yes, is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then yes, I will go back to this one. Let's see, just see the spectrum of the frequency modulation. Okay, so here I have considered two cases. One is in this case, no, the amplitude of the message signal is varied, and the frequency of the message signal is kept constant. You need to observe very carefully. Okay, so as we know, the variation in the frequency of the carrier signal depends only on the amplitude of the message signal, not on the frequency of the message signal. You all agree with me? Yes. Delta F, there is a frequency deviation. No, what is the expression for delta F you have written so far? It is KF into AM, right? Yes, anybody has remembered that expression delta F? Is it is equal to KF into AM?
Yes, sir.
Only Prithvi says yes. What about others? Prajwal? Yes, what about others? What is the expression for delta F? Is it KF into AM?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just have a look about this spectrum when beta is 1. Okay, so here the deviation 2 into delta F is written as what? This is the carrier, right? The center one is the carrier function. Along with that, we have FC plus FM, another FC minus FM, right? And even I have two more sidebands also. That is FC plus 2FM, then FC plus 3FM it is, right? See, the sideband magnitude is decreasing. Yes or no? As the value of n increases. Okay. So I hope you noted this spectrum. This is when value of beta is 1. That is when modulation index is 1. Okay, let me show for when value of beta is some other value, how the spectrum will looks like. Yeah, this is when the value of beta is 2. See what you are observing here. Is what you could observe. The number of side frequencies are increasing. Yes, could you find the number of side frequencies increased or not?
Yes, sir.
Then even about this 2 delta f, how much it is taken when compared to the previous one. In the previous one, how many sidebands you have taken? It is only one pair of sideband you have taken, right? 2 delta f has only one pair of sideband, right? So when the value of beta is 2 for determining that deviation, so how many sidebands you have taken here considered?
2.
So how many sidebands?
2 pairs.
Huh?
2 pairs, sir.
These 2. Yes, how many from here you can count now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 side frequencies you have considered, right? And what about the spacing? It is fixed, right? Spacing between the side frequencies is fixed. Okay, only the variation in the amplitude of the side bands you are able to see, right? So it is at this point, what is its magnitude? It is very less, right? If I consider this as FC, this point, then this one is FC plus FM, FC plus 2FM, FC plus 3FM, and FC plus 4FM, right? So its magnitude is very small. Okay. Next, have a look for when beta is 5. So what you're observing here, when beta is 5. So this is the spacing of FM, okay? Yes, here how many side frequencies are considered when beta is 5?
5.
5, right? 5, huh? From here to here?
5 pairs, sir.
5 pairs. Means it is 10, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is 11 is there. Okay, if you neglect this carrier, then it is 5 pairs. As you said, is correct. Okay, so what we are finding, as the value of beta increases, you need to have a look about this. What is this one? This is the sideband's magnitude is decreasing, right? Yes or no? Similarly, this side also, right? Yes or no? So just you have a look about outside this 2 delta f. We are taking only the significant number of sidebands, whereas its magnitude matters. Okay. So this is 3 cases. What I have shown is by keeping the frequency of the message signal constant, and we are varying the value of the amplitude of the message signal. Okay. So these 3 waveforms, whatever I have shown. So try to grasp or note down these things properly, then you will be able to understand the difference. When I keep the amplitude of the message signal constant, and if I vary the frequency of the message signal, what happens? Okay, so these 3 cases are fine. Noted these things? Yes, have you noted these 3 things?
Yes, sir.
So I will go to the next one. So next 3 more figures. Okay, so this is the graph which shows for the variation in the frequency of the message signal, keeping amplitude of the message signal constant. So what is the difference you are finding? Is it possible to make the difference?
So can you repeat?
See, this is the diagram. What I'm showing now is no. This one is for the spectrum of the frequency modulated signal, keeping amplitude of the message signal is constant, and I'm varying the frequency of the message signal. In the previous case, three diagrams what I've shown no, for different values of beta. Those three diagrams are for keeping the frequency of the message signal constant, and I have varied the amplitude of the message signal. That is why I said try to either note down or you should observe keenly. Okay. So now what you are able to see here, when the frequency of the message signal is varied, keeping amplitude of the message signal constant, what difference you are able to find out?
So more
Compared to
spacing. More spacing.
more spacing, right? Because you are varying the FM, right? You are varying the frequency of the message signal. I hope able to understand this difference compared to the previous two diagrams. Yes. So this is the diagram what I've shown. Keeping frequency of the message signal constant, I'm varying the amplitude of the message signal, right? This is when value of beta is 1, and this is when value of beta is 2, right? And this is when value of beta is 5. So next three diagrams is for the same thing. When value of beta is 1, when value of beta is 2, and when value of beta is 5. Here what I'm doing, I'm keeping the amplitude of the message signal constant, but I'm varying the frequency of the message signal. So what is the difference you're able to find out? You're able to see the more spacing from the carrier frequency, right? Because I'm varying the frequency of the message signal. No? Yes, are you able to see this spacing? Spacing is increased, right, from the carrier frequency. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನು ಬೇಡ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ So able to see the difference, spacing between the side bands from the carrier frequency is increased, right? Because I'm varying the value of FM. Okay. Right? So then what I can say is the bandwidth required for transmission of the FM signal is so there is a empirical formula is known as the Carson's rule, we say. Okay, Carson's rule. This is an empirical relation. What he has suggested to say what is the transmission bandwidth required for transmitting the FM signal. That is approximated as 2 into delta F plus 2 times the frequency of the message signal. I hope we can note down this. The transmission bandwidth required for transmitting FM signals is, okay, denoted as what? B suffix T, okay, which is equal to 2 times the what frequency deviation plus 2 times the frequency of the message signal. This is an empirical relation. So you all know what is empirical relation? By experimentation, he has suggested that yes, this much bandwidth is required for transmitting the FM signal. 2 delta F plus 2 FM. Okay, so if you take 2 delta F as common, means outside, I can write it as what? 1 plus 1 by beta, because we all know what is beta. Beta is a modulation index, right? How do we define that? That is delta F by FM, right? I hope this is clear. This expression for transmitting FM signal.
Yes, sir.
So here you need to do one step. What is that first step? First you need to tell this much. Okay, transmission bandwidth required for transmitting FM signal is what? It is approximated, right? Empirical equation relation I said, right? It is what? 2 delta F plus 2 FM. So why he decided it is a 2 delta F plus 2 FM? And you all know why I told these things. Based on this, he has approximated. See, it is 2 delta F, right? 2 delta F plus 2 FM, because this the magnitude of this is very small, right? just able to see 2 delta f plus 2 fm, right? Even in the previous case also. Okay, that is why I discussed about this. Hope noted this formula. It's a very important relation. What is the Carson's rule they ask? So Carson's rule is what it is? Yeah, it is an empirical relation to say what is the transmission bandwidth required for transmitting an FM signal, which is what? 2 times the frequency deviation plus twice the highest frequency of the message signal. Okay. So it is expressed in another way. That is, he has taken 2 delta f as outside. So I can write it as 1 plus 1 by beta. So as I said, beta is what? Delta f by fm, right? If you substitute that, then you will be able to say in this form. Okay. So this is one thing. This is an empirical relation. Okay. So another one is, we say that is the curve. I will come back to that. I think this is the curve. Okay, there is a universal curve. I think I will take up this in the next class. What I feel. Okay, already it is 11:50. Okay, we'll discuss about this universal curve for finding the transmission bandwidth of an FM signal in the next class. I think.
ಸರ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಸರ್?
Madam, attendance